What a right royal mess. Just a week ago, I was on the national television airwaves berating Prince William for his eco-sermon at the Queen's Jubilee celebrations. Well, another week and another top royal makes things political. This time, it's the green-fingered, architecture-hating, adulterous crank, Prince Charles. This pompous climate change hypocrite who loves a private jet has been privately complaining about the government's policy of processing illegal asylum applications in Rwanda, calling the policy appalling. Yesterday, it was the producers of obesity-making toxic ice cream, Ben & Jerry's. And what Prince Charles knows about the UK's border policy is about as insightful as Tom and Jerry. I wish somebody would snap him in a trap so we could be done with him. This latest intervention takes the cheese. I couldn't have been more proud to have been on air covering the Queen's Jubilee celebrations last weekend. And the great legacy of Elizabeth has been her dignity, her integrity, and her neutrality. I like this quote from The Guardian's Zoe Williams. She wrote, "Today, in an age where permanently having an opinion is fetishised, the Queen is perhaps the last person whose opinions remain sacredly unknown." Those were the days. So last week, William, a multi-millionaire with a carbon footprint the size of Texas, was lecturing Brits about the environment at a time when millions in this country can't afford to heat their homes or fill their cars with fuel, not helped by William's doubtless beloved green taxes. Let them eat cake and let them pay more at the pump. And now Prince Charles, a man who owns 6 houses, enjoys opulent private transport, boasts wardrobes full of Savile Row suits, and a man who enjoys a coterie of devoted staff, wants to have his 2 pennies worth about our border policy and government attempts to tackle the evil business model of gangsters who are effectively modern-day slavers or worse. How dare this man, unelected and unaccountable, basically there just because of an accident of birth, stray into this territory? Not so bonny Prince Charlie is someone who will never feel the consequences, societal or economic, of unchecked illegal migration. Now, I'm all for migration. We've always been a welcoming and generous country. But it's got to be done properly and within the law. I know the Rwanda plan is not everyone's cup of tea, and who knows if it will work. But if you're willing to stand by and allow this humanitarian crisis to play out as it is on the channel every day, if you're willing to stand by and prop up the effective sale of human souls via criminal gangs, if you're happy to tolerate the daily ritualistic breaking of the law, these crossings are illegal, that's what I call appalling, well, frankly, you are in the moral wrong space. Not satisfied with pestering government ministers about any number of his pet projects or interfering with modern British architecture, I think it's Prince Charles who's turning out to be a monstrous carbuncle. Why don't you accommodate migrants in some of your mansions, Chaz? One of your massive marble bathrooms, paid for by us, could probably accommodate a family of 4. That's what I call a royal flush. And who gives a damn about the opinions of someone simply lucky enough to have been conceived in the right womb? Read the womb, Chaz, and stay in your lane. The Rwanda plan might be a terrible idea, it might be great, you tell me. But it's not for the pompous prince to comment. And by the way, there may be some unconscious racism among those criticising the Rwanda plan. After all, what's wrong with Rwanda? Is it a terrible hellhole? No, it's a modern, thriving African democracy. In fact, the Visit Rwanda campaign is adorned on the shirts of Arsenal players in the Premier League, for which the Gunners receive millions. I wonder whether there would be such prejudice if asylum claims were being processed in Monaco, California, or the Maldives. Or what about Spain, where the first ever woke US President, Joe Biden, is considering processing illegal US asylum claims exactly there? What? Joe Biden wants to process illegal migrants overseas as well? Say it isn't so. In the end, Prince Charles has proved himself to be a right Charlie. The role of the royals is to open supermarkets and hospital wings, to kiss babies and to receive bouquets of flowers. Their job is to represent us abroad, pose for photos and fly the flag for UK PLC. Nice work if you can get it, not a bad living. Their job is not to get involved in politics, even if it's from remarks the palace are now trying to disown. They've said the prince remains neutral. Tellingly, however, the palace have not denied that those are his views. I'm a big fan of the royal family, and I'm willing to give Charles a chance. Of course I am. And for me, having a monarchy is a typically British idea, slightly bonkers on paper, but it works. And I love tradition. I love the pomp and ceremony, and I love the Queen. But having had a brief preview of our next head of state, I don't much like the look of King Charles, the moaning monarch, the cantankerous crown, the campaigning king. And if this intervention is the shape of things to come, count me out. It's a king-size mistake he's making. I believe the public, even rabid monarchists who've still got their Charles and Diana tea towels, won't take kindly to being lectured by arguably the most privileged man in Britain. If we're going to have a more political, more woke, more divisive monarchy, on that sad day when we lose the Queen, then with her will go the whole project itself. Not straight away, but over time. If Charles and indeed William persist with these political interventions, I will personally campaign for this country to become a republic. When Charles inherits the throne, he needs to know that he's inheriting a great institution, but a fragile one too. An institution delicately based on public support and consent. And if he keeps being this political and poking his nose into all aspects of government policy, King Charles can king do one.